Hi, welcome to the video. I just thought I'd make a video discussing about Japan and how much it changed from my perspective over the past 2 years as a tourist. So, first time I've been to Japan recently was around the festive holidays time in 2022, and around that time they just opened the borders. Tourists was coming back into the country. There was like a lot of travel going on, but it was not as busy and crowded as it has been over the last few months. And I just wanted to make a video talking about it and like my opinion on the whole situation and where I can see things going over the next few years. So I've been to Japan usually. I've been to Japan multiple times. I usually go like maybe twice a year, and that blows my budget. So I have to make like a very strict budget around my holiday recently because I've done everything that is touristy. So now I'll go for like the niche areas instead. But one thing I've noticed is that a lot of things have become a little bit more restrictive, and you are limited on the type of things you can do because of problems on some tourists being a nuisance, like all the streamers you hear on the news and all that. I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to give them any like clout or anything like that. So one thing, I'll speak about that kind of area later on down the video, but I just want to speak about it from each specific category. I'll speak about maybe two or three, but yeah, without further ado, let's go into it. So number one is going to be the costs, specifically flight costs and accommodation costs, and how it changed from my perspective. So with flights, I would say flights didn't change that much over the past 2 years or so. They might have increased slightly, but you can still get like a really good flight to Japan depending on where you're flying from. So for example, I'm like in Europe, UK and such, and for me personally, getting a nice cheap flight is not an issue. But some people prefer flying, with the more premium airlines like, I don't know, Qatar or Emirates, Etihad, those ANA, JAL, the main airlines that people like to go to for that experience. But for me personally, I went with ANA and JAL for the first time around 2 years ago, and after that I just gone with the budget airlines, and until now they serve me well, to be honest, because what that means is I save money from my airline budget and then I can use it for other things while I'm in the country. So one thing I do is, let's say I book it with a super cheap budget airline that seems to be trustworthy and such. You always do your research. I'm not going to tell you guys which airline to book it with. Just make sure you do your research first. And the way I would do it is, for my personal itinerary, I would book the flight budget rate, and then after I booked it at the budget rate, I still have some money left because I did put a budget overall for the flight. And what I use with that additional cash, I would use it to book domestic flight within the country, because previously I used to enjoy taking the Shinkansen, the bullet train and such, but recently, I think it was last year, they increased the price of the JR pass, and now, if I'm honest, it's not worth it, because unless you are traveling every single day, it's not really worth getting. So what I do instead is, for example, let's say you want to travel to Hokkaido. Once you reach Japan, Tokyo, you want to go to north of Japan, you want to go to Hokkaido and such, people will say, hey, I have a JR pass, I'll use that instead of flying there because I just got it. But the problem is, it takes about 7 to 8 hours by train, even with the bullet train, to get you there, and that's too long. So my opinion, just take a freaking domestic flight from Haneda or Narita, and it'll get there like in 2 hours, and it's like 100 something, and that comes from the budget of your airline. So that's number one. Always depends on your flight budget, but that's my opinion. Accommodation, same thing. Prices changed significantly over the years. I know for a fact, I think it's because when tourists started coming back into the country, it was not like as busy as it is now. But now, because they have high demand and everything, they started increasing the prices, and a lot of the good options you used to have in the past is not there anymore. So that's one thing that I've noticed that changed over the years. So that's flight and accommodation. Another area that changed, I would say, is maybe the restaurants and the activities. Now, activities is a lot harder to do. Well, it depends where you're doing it at. If you're doing activities in like Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, or Nara, or any of those kind of places, then yes, it will be a lot busier because there's more tourists. It's the golden route. Everybody knows that. You're gonna have so many tourists going to those places. So now, lucky for me, when I first went to Japan, there was like hardly any tourism over there, so it was not overcrowded. Lucky for me, so I get to enjoy it overall. And the other thing I've noticed is right now, just getting around the city is so much harder. Like I heard like a couple of years ago that Kyoto had to discount some of their like bus services because the tourism were just using it like non-stop, so it made it like really difficult for the locals to travel around the city. So they kind of, and they did the whole geisha, banning foreign tourists to go to the geisha because they'd be a nuisance. I've seen videos, we all saw videos of that and Instagram reels, and I thought, why would you do that? Just common sense, guys. Come on, it's just common sense. Until this day, I don't understand why people do that kind of stuff. I really don't. And yeah, so over tourism is like a big topic that everybody talks about, that they all discuss on what they want. Like, is it gonna get worse? Is it gonna get better? People saying it's part of it because of the yen going down against the dollar and all that kind of stuff, the yen being so weak and so on. And I want the yen to be stronger again, because I think it's unfair for the people who live there, okay? And a lot of people who have like no idea, they are just going to Japan because it's on a sale. That's the only reason they're going. Like, they don't do any research, they don't like study up on what they should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing and such, and they don't try to learn a little bit of Japanese, even little bit, like just arigatou gozaimasu or sumimasen and that kind of stuff. It's develop your like vocabulary just a little bit, just to make it easier, not just on yourself but also for the people who are serving you, because they want to serve you, but it's just just being a good person overall. That's really helped. It's not that hard. So that's the other thing. So we talked about flights, we talked about accommodation, we talked about the over tourism spots, the golden route and all that kind of stuff. We talked about how preparing yourself when you go there and such. So those are the kind of areas I've seen change over the years. And now the one thing I have to be honest with you guys, I hate going to Tokyo. Tokyo now is my least favorite city in all of Japan, because there is so much more interesting stuff to do outside of Tokyo. And ask anybody who lives there and they'll tell you that it's true, because Tokyo at the end of the day is just a concrete jungle. You see like Japanese letter, you see the neon lights, and you're like, sugoi, and you're like, it's amazing. I'm like, no, that's amazing, but like first, like Shibuya, the Shibuya crossing, sure, you'll go there, enjoy it the first time, but then after that you're like, okay, let's go, you move on. So yeah, this is just me talking to a camera, talking about my own opinion about the whole situation and such. I've been learning Japanese. I've pretty much got my katakana and my hiragana on point. Luckily, I'm still learning a lot of kanji, because kanji will take years, forever to learn all of it, but the more you know, the better. And I've started doing like these private tutoring classes and lessons that I take over the weekend, which helps out a lot. So my advice is for you guys, if you want to learn some Japanese letters just to see if you can understand some of the words, I would say download like an app on your phone. And what you do is, like, let's say if you're commuting to work by train and such, or you're on a break and such, or like whenever you have time, just download an app. There's so many apps out there that you can use. Download an app, and then you can just do quizzes for the hiragana, katakana, and you just repeating the cycle, just being repetitive. Do it over and over again until it sticks, and then you'll be happy with seeing the progress you made, and then you can move on to learn some vocabulary and grammar and so on. So that's my advice for you guys. And yeah, I think I kind of went a bit away from the main point about the change in the country over the past few years. But my main point is flights has gone a lot more expensive. Accommodation has gone slightly more expensive. That's because everybody's booking all the hotels, so your options, even though it looks like it's wide, is not that many like good option. And it depends what you want to do, where you want to stay overall. And bonus point, and I just want to shout this out to all those, specifically the TikTok influencers who tell you what to do while you're in Japan. I've seen some TikTokers who go to Japan on a trip, and then they say, like Tsuji Market, the fish market in Tokyo. I saw somebody who said that everybody else was gatekeeping the market when they said it's a tourist scam spots and you shouldn't go there, you should go to the other areas and such. And they were saying, oh, you are being gatekept. And some people actually believe that. You know why they believe that? Because they say that my USD dollar is stronger than the yen. It doesn't matter to me if it's cost 2x usual price. I can still afford it. It's still cheap for me. But they don't understand is, just because it's cheaper for you, let's say it flips around. Let's say the yen gets higher, all right, and the USD gets lower. They're not gonna lower the price. They're gonna keep it up there. And then, in the first place, you shouldn't be going there. Okay, so there's a lot of people, influencers, who've just been giving out horrible advice, and they tell people to go this, if you visit in Japan, you must go to these top 5 spots. If you visit in Japan, you need to go to these specific restaurants. Most of the time, it's either like an ad, or they're trying to influence people's, holidays. So basically, what they're trying to say is, if you don't go to those places, you're not gonna have a good time in Japan. Don't listen to them. That's my advice. Don't listen to those kind of people. Plan what you want to do. Sure, look at videos, see what the type of vibe it is But here's the thing. Let's say somebody is promoting an onigiri store. You want to get some rice balls or whatever. Instead of going to the place that they recommend you, they put the idea in your head that you want onigiri. Okay, you Google onigiri. You see the different type of onigiri shops across Tokyo or Japan, wherever you are, and then you decide which one to go to that is not gone viral. If there's a place that has 1,000+ reviews, don't go there. Don't go there, because it's just gonna be tourists who have the holiday high, and then they'll tell you guys that it's amazing, but it's actually kind of mid. Because here's the thing, they tell you it's amazing because it's the first time they're trying it, but if you go to the best of the best, that will taste mid, and you realize that that's actually mid. So what you gotta do is you have to do your own research to find a really good place that you can get to enjoy the food at the highest quality. I found so many great sushi places that is not that well known, because people don't make TikToks about it, people don't make reels or anything about it. It's just you find it yourself. There's hardly any other foreign tourists over there. You go it and you enjoy the food, and that food just stays in your head forever. It's like a great memory. So that's my advice. Always plan, but without getting influenced by social media. Try your best. I know you're looking at this video for advice and such. I'm kind of in the same boat, but I'm not trying to influence you guys. I'm just telling you guys, please use your head a little bit more. Okay, plan it, and then trust me, you're gonna have a great time. And also, I just want to say, it doesn't always mean that you have to eat that same food as everybody else. For example, what does it call it? Family chicken at Family Mart. My honest opinion, so many people hype it. Okay, so many people hype it, saying it's the best chicken ever. It's mid, coming from me. It's mid. I tried fried chicken in the US, Europe, different part of Asia, South Korea, and that kind of places. It's mid. Okay, it's not that great. So trust me, do your own research. But yeah, that's just me talking to the camera, just putting my points out there, and I hope it helped you guys out. And if you stayed till the end of the video, thank you. And if you have any other topics you want me to talk about going forward, please drop me a comment and I'll have a look and see what I can dig up for you. But until the next time, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace.